oldest and most prestigious tennis tournament in the world. Wimbledon updates on talkSPORT.
There it is, that's the set.
Let us entertain you by serving up faultless previews.
It is break point here.
Ace reviews.
What a hit that is.
And a volley of live updates from this year's Wimbledon Championships.
You cannot be serious.
I most definitely am serious, as it's Game 7 Match for Wimbledon updates throughout the tournament on talkSPORT.
You know the music by now, you know the tune. Daily Chelsea coming up, transfer insiders, Adi Oladipo, Rory, Jennings. No more Sadio Mane and Paul Pogba talk. We've tried to flog them. You boys don't want them. We had to go. We had to go. We don't collect any agent fees for this service. We've just done this free of charge to you boys. And Spurs were really the only takers in Arsenal.
Chelsea.
And Chelsea, potentially. And Chelsea. You know when you say that, and Chelsea, like, is there any... Are you just saying that, or would you have both?
I would genuinely have both. Like, I think if you think about Chelsea's starters at the moment, Sadio Mane is a better player than Raheem Sterling, isn't he? And Raheem Sterling is our best forward.
Pause a second. Alex, the Arsenal fan, has just texted in. You're forgetting we signed Havertz, so Mane wouldn't get in the first team. Whatever position Kai Havertz plays, I'd have Mane in any other position. That position, I mean.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it doesn't matter whether Kai Havertz...
We just signed Havertz, so Mane wouldn't get in the team.
They're incomparable. They're completely
incomparable.
Have
they watched Mane and Havertz for the last 3 years?
Also, I think Kai Havertz is going to be playing a lot deeper, isn't he, for Arsenal, the way that it's shaping up at the moment.
Yeah, probably that midfield free. To cut across you there. Pogba and Mane at Chelsea, yeah?
Of course.
Did we realistically see them coming back to the Prem? Do you see it happening? Like, I know we've played that little game there, but can you see a way in which they really I can see Mane. I can never see Pogba coming back.
I could see Sadio Mane playing in the Premier League again. Paul Pogba probably not. Unjustly and incorrectly, in my opinion, probably not.
Yeah.
I don't know where he ends up though.
You know what it is though? See, like Sadio Mane, he's got quite a good reputation in the Premier League. Now, when you speak to fans about Sadio Mane, there's a genuine excitement.
Well, he won it.
Yeah, exactly.
He won it. He
won
the Premier
Paul
League.
Pogba failed to deliver in the Premier League.
He
the
failed
Paul
to
Pogba
deliver
that I
consistently.
thought was coming. I don't know what I expected. I think maybe I expected. Maybe my expectations were too high. Maybe it's my fault. But he certainly didn't reach those expectations.
No, your expectations weren't too high. The expectations were set by others. The expectations were set because he won 3 leagues in a row under Antonio Conte in Italy. The expectations were set because of the Pog back video and because of the £89 million price tag. Your expectations were correct. He didn't live up to them. But it doesn't mean he's not a good player. It doesn't mean he didn't contribute. He just didn't live up to the huge expectations that were put on his shoulders.
Indeed. We are hearing that Romelu Lukaku won't come to training once his deal done. Before, and I say deal done, he wants his Inter Milan Chelsea deal sorted before the start of the season. He doesn't want to come back for pre-season.
Yeah, but that's because he knows that he is persona non grata at Chelsea. He can't play for Chelsea again. It would be too embarrassing for him to run out of Stamford Bridge. He would be booed. He is entirely, universally disliked at Stamford Bridge. He made it impossible for him to play for Chelsea again. The way that he treated the club, the way that he treated his teammates, the way that he treated the fans, and his performances, by the way. Since then, since he launched a grenade into his Chelsea career and flew over to Italy to conduct that unsanctioned interview with Sky Italia, since he did that and blew up his Chelsea career, think about the performances that we've seen from him at the top level. He was almost solely responsible for Belgium capitulating in the World Cup. That game against Croatia was comical. He was so bad. He was the architect of that golden generation of Belgium's downfall. He had chance after chance after chance, and he made a pig's ear of everyone. Then, just a few months ago, we watched him play in the Champions League final. Cleared one off the line for his team. Like he is no longer good enough to play for Chelsea.
A couple of weeks ago. It doesn't feel like that long ago, was it? It wasn't that long ago at all. Romelu Lukaku won't put on a Chelsea shirt again. I'll be very, very surprised. And we just wait to see what deal Inter Milan can put together so that Chelsea will accept. Remember, Chelsea spent a lot of money. Was it 100 million quid?
97.
97? What's 3 million between friends, eh? 100 million quid on Romelu Lukaku, and you're going to get back 30, 40?
I think it's the worst signing in Premier League history, isn't it, Romelu Lukaku?
Paul Pogba.
No way.
Paul Pogba's return. 89. You had a player, you let him go for free, and you had to spend another 80 plus million getting him back. You had him. You let him go for free. Think about that. You had him, you let him go for free, and you then had to spend 80 plus million getting him back.
You're totally incorrect here, Oladipo. You're totally incorrect. The worst signing in Premier League history, if you factor everything into the equation, is Romelu Lukaku to Stamford Bridge for £97 million. He arrived to the team that were European champions.
Yeah.
To huge fanfare. He was going to be the difference between Chelsea being also rans in the league and genuine title contenders.
I said it. I sold him.
Within 3 months, he had ended it all. Within 3 months, he had launched a grenade into his Chelsea career. He had flown over to Italy, conducted this interview that was so distressing to his team, so demoralising to his teammates, so embarrassing to the fans who were chanting his name. The team that were paying his wages, Abramovich, Grunskavaya, they must have felt so betrayed by
almost cheated.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that was the end of it. That was the end of his Chelsea career. That was the beginning of the end. There isn't a worse signing in Premier League history than Romelu Lukaku to Chelsea, if you factor everything into the equation. It was over within 3 months.
I'm sure I can think of one, but for the money, you probably are correct. Shout out to the Beautiful Game podcast guys as well, by the way, doing an amazing job. They had Nigel James on there, Reece James's dad, who was waxing lyrical and talking up the idea.
Who's taking off Lukaku?
Oh, sorry.
Honestly,
Here he is. Here he is, Mr. Cundy.
Honestly, he's still a Chelsea bloke.
we need that. When he came through the door, we need that kind of music, like Stone Cold music there, just smashing through the door.
I love it.
Yeah.
Gentlemen.
Anything I've said incorrectly?
Do you know what? I've heard bits and pieces. It's hard to disagree. Look, it's the price tag. Everything's about the price. It's all Morata.
Jesse J.
Morata, honestly. But Lukaku's Chelsea's.
He's right. Morata.
No, but Morata was a terrible player. Morata, Timo Werner. They would say that it didn't work. But what Romelu Lukaku did was actually a bigger sin, in my opinion. He actually chose, like Alvaro Morata didn't choose to miss all those chances at the Emirates. That game against Arsenal when he went through on goal time and time again and missed them all. Timo Werner. I've never seen anyone miss more sitters. Look, there are some terrible players.
I'm just throwing that.
There are some terrible players. Chris Sutton. There are some terrible players.
Do you want to leave the room now and just Rory and I
we talk about terrible Chelsea players.
We sob over about £1 billion of players that just turned up.
But Romelu Lukaku was different because he chose to end it. He chose to blow up the.
I mean, there was a lot wrong at the club at the time, and there still is, in all honesty. But yeah, he played the narrative. I think he read where to. I just think he knew he didn't want to be there.
Yeah,
I'm going to get a get out clause. I think most players. So any player that's worth X amount of pounds, I think they could make their way out of a contract at any time if they do what he did. Go at the press, do an interview. Do what he does.
It's interesting you say that because there has been, obviously I got a lot of stick from Newcastle fans saying I don't think Tonali desperately wants to be at Newcastle, but AC Milan sold him and he's got to go. Is there an instance where players can force their way out of these big deals like Lukaku did and just almost say, don't want to play, not playing, refusing to play? Not saying Tonali will do that. I don't think he will. I think it's going to be a fantastic signing. But we are seeing players being sold to clubs and almost you have to go as opposed to the players wanting to go.
Here's the question. 2 years ago, would Tonali have gone to Newcastle?
No.
So,
but they're a different club now, aren't they? They're
of course
a different proposition. They're in the Champions League.
Of course they are, and they're now an attractive club to go to. I think we have to accept that. Chelsea under Roman, Rory and I will remember that period when he came in, and we signed players almost on a daily basis.
Yeah. Veron and
honestly,
Joe Cole.
It was insane what was going on at the club.
Yeah,
but we were at that time Champions League semi-finalists, second in the league.
There you go.
So we were slightly more a club. But let's be honest,
you'd won a couple of FA Cups in the lead up to it as well.
Yeah, but Newcastle are a club that are going. You can see where they're going. The trajectory of that football club. You can see where they want to be in the next 3, 4, 5 years. They'll have a plan, right? Actually, it's a great club to join right now. For someone like tonight, it's a great club. There'll be other. I don't think they paid a lot of money for him either.
Was it 70 million odd?
So that might euros or pounds?
Pounds.
I thought
was it the most expensive Italian, wasn't it? Was it 70 million euros a pound? The most expensive Italian signing ever.
I thought it was less than that.
No, they've gone big. Even if it's 70 million euros, what's that? 55, 60. What was it, Rory? Rory. My assistant here, Rory's bringing out his laptop.
You're the transfer insiders. I'm just an idiot that comes on and does a
70 million euros.
It was. I think it was a bit cheaper, Ad.
70 million euros. 70 million euros.
Cheaper.
Yeah. Yeah, 70 million, still a lot of money. 70 million
it's a lot of money. It's the most expensive Italian ever, but it's also a bargain for a player of that quality.
Sorry, expensive Italian ever in
To
football's history.
Yeah, I think Jorginho was the record.
Right. Okay.
Jorginho was the record, and that's been broken by Tonali.
Okay. All right. Fair enough.
All right, what you got coming on your show?
We are.
That's what you're in here for, you know. You know, he just walks in to have a little chit chat with us, and this is talk.
But this is the best part of the show.
Yeah, I agree.
This is I come in here. Myself and Jamie O'Hara. We are talking about. I've forgotten.
Jamie, get in here, Jamie. Get in here. He's coming here to bring the producer of your show. He's like, what's going on?
Honestly, we've been sat in there chatting about what we're going to do. There are so many topics.
Wait, producer, get in here. Turn the mic on for the producer.
Producer's on, great.
I'm glad we had that 20-minute conversation before the show.
No, 3 hours.
Sorry. I've actually forgotten.
What was that?
It's the anniversary of the final that we lost to Italy and the semi-final that we lost to Croatia.
Wow.
Oh.
So moments in football that were like the fairy tale was written, the hopes were there, and then you just crushed.
Yeah, crushed.
I'll
Yeah.
leave you with that.
So is that 2 years ago today then? 2 years ago today, England lost to Italy
Luke
at
Shaw
Wembley.
scored after about 3 minutes.
That's right, yeah, fullback to fullback,
I
wasn't
can't
it?
believe that was 2 years ago.
That was 2 years ago today, Jason. Gosh, that's going to be a great show.
It was. And, of course, we went to penalties and they went, you know.
That was the day that I lost Southgate forever there. That was the day
That
that
was
I
the
took,
day.
That was the
No,
day.
but how can you lose him forever after just winning on...
Because-
So if we won on penalties...
Fine margins.
That was the day when I understood the dark arts of football. When was it Bonucci that pulled Saka back? Was it Bonucci? I think it might have been Bonucci that pulled Saka back when Saka's going to go.
Yes.
And I thought, the Chiellini, apologies. And I thought, they understand the dark arts of football.
But the game was won and lost in the dugout. Roberto Mancini won that final. Gareth Southgate lost it. You know England in that final? We were at home. 90,000 fans. We got a final at Wembley. You couldn't ask for more. You're playing a very beatable Italian team, an Italian team that didn't get to 2 consecutive World Cups. And in that entire 120 minutes of football, we had 1 shot on target after 3 minutes. We didn't go for the jugular. We lost the game, and that's all on Southgate.
The second half turned, if you remember. The second half just turned. The goal was coming. The goal was coming.
Mancini turned it.
Yeah.
Mancini turned it. And Southgate couldn't turn it back.
Yeah, I won't disagree with that, but we're talking about that. The moment where your team was up, not just England, any team, your team was up, and you got crushed.
Yeah, that's
We've got some fair. You got any of those? I've got a great one for you. You could talk about the 1997 FA Cup third round tie at Stamford Bridge.
Oh!
You were 2-0 up. You were 2-0 up and you lost.
Mark Hughes comes
4-2.
off the bench.
Mark Hughes comes off the bench.
Oh, yeah.
Gianfranco Zola,
Yeah.
Gianluca Vialli.
Yeah.
You had it in the bag, the
Oh,
Spice
look.
Boys. What happened to you?
Do you know what? I can look at his eyes. He remembers.
He knows.
No, you know, I'm more upset. I just think about the big games. Apologies, I forgot about that one. I'm more upset about Real Madrid in the Champions League final.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Although you never had it in the bag.
No, we never had it in the
Which
bag,
one?
but the
Which
one
one?
where Thibaut Courtois just putting off save after save, and I think
You were never up in that game.
we're up mentally.
No, you weren't.
In my head, we're up.
You got crushed. You got crushed, but you were never up in there.
Fair.
So it's when your team was up and you got crushed. The worst one for me,
Go on.
Barcelona at Stamford Bridge.
Ugh.
Iniesta. It's the worst I've ever felt.
I love
We're
those
one-
That was
days.
only a draw as well.
I love
I
those
know.
days.
The way goals killed us. Should have had about 3 or 4
Iniesta.
penalties.
Iniesta
Edge of the
09.
box.
Yeah.
You know what made me...
Yeah, Michael Essien scored such a blind.
Left
Right,
foot.
one second. Sorry, apologies, Jason. You might need to leave the room. This isn't a Chelsea show. You guys can... Jason, you can go now and get ready for your show. You can get ready for your show.
In the last 33 years, how many Premier Leagues you won?
Get out of it. Get out of it. Every time he just waltzes in, and he's wearing his slippers as well again. By the way, wearing his slippers again. I like that. Good subject for them.
Good fun.
Subject.
Good
Yeah.
fun.
Thank God the producer came in to remind him of what's on the show as well, which starts in about 13 minutes, which is good.
I'll be
which is
tuned
good.
in.
Indeed, we will.